So how long does it take to get adjusted to life in a new country? I have been living in France for 4.5 years, and there's still 5 things that I am still not used to or that cause me a little bit of anxiety or put me on edge. And I'm going to share with you what those 5 things are right now. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have not, please consider doing so and clicking the notification bell so that each time I upload a video about moving abroad, life in France, or finding the confidence and courage to live life on your terms, you will be notified. My name is Patricia Brooks, and I moved to the south of France over 4.5 years ago. I can't believe I am saying that. It's been that long. And my adjustment has been pretty smooth. However, after 4.5 years, there are 5 things that still can trigger me or cause me to be on edge. And I wanted to share those with you so that you recognize some of the things that you may experience if you choose to move to a foreign country. All right. So the first one is I get a little bit nervous when somebody tells me they want to send me a package in the mail. The mail here, La Poste, is pretty good for the most part, but I've had a couple of incidents that have caused me to not necessarily have a ton of confidence in mail delivery from time to time. And the first incident had to do with a letter that was sent to me. I guess it was a registered letter that I'd have to sign for. And they put one slip in my mailbox over the course of 15 days or maybe even 3 weeks. And when I got back from vacation and went to the post office with the slip, they searched for the letter for about 10 minutes. They came out and said that they couldn't find it, that it had been sent back to the person who sent it to me. I said, "Oh, do you think you could check one more time?" And they checked again. Somebody else checked. They came back and said, "No, it's been sent back." And I said, well, who sent the letter? If it was an important letter, they wanted me to sign for it. Surely you have documented who sent me this letter. They didn't know, right? So I walked away feeling a little bit sick that, maybe this was a really important letter and I won't get it. And the person who sent it to me might think that I did, and I'm just not responsive. It didn't make me feel really good. I never got another slip like that in the mail. I have not had any issues with the administration, knock on wood, because I did not respond to an important letter. But I still wonder, well, what was that? The second instance was I had given a speech, and the person I gave the speech for was really thankful, and she wanted to send me a gift. So she asked me for my address. I gave it to her. She put something in the mail to me. She got a notice saying that what she sent couldn't be delivered. We verified the address. We went through all of that. And then she sent it again. And it got returned for a second time. And I was really disappointed because I really wanted to get my gift, but I also felt bad for her because she was doing something nice for me. And I couldn't receive the gift, and it was causing her extra effort. And so those were the 2 instances that really made me think, I'm not so sure how I feel about getting things sent to me in the mail. The other thing about this is now I have a post office box, which I thought would be a great thing. However, if I order something through Amazon.fr, I can't have my delivery sent there because for whatever reason, it's just not an acceptable address. And I thought, this will help me with this mail situation, but it hasn't in the long run. So while I say the post office is good in general, these 2 instances or incidents have caused me to hesitate when somebody says, I want to send you something. I'm like, are you sure you want to send me something? So that's number 1. Number 2 has to do with not having cash, right? Last week, I went to a cave in Villefranche-de-Conflans with a friend, and it was 15 minutes before I was supposed to meet her. And I didn't have any cash. And I was like, do I have enough time to go to Centreville to get money from the ATM? And I looked, I was like, yeah, you need to get the money because what if they don't accept bank cards. Now, you might be saying it's 2022, everybody accepts bank cards. But I've had experiences here in France where businesses just did not accept that. They would prefer a check to my bank card. One example of that was I was with my former boyfriend, and we had gone out to a restaurant here in town, and the meal was great. And it was about 40 or 50 euros. And at the end of the meal, he got the check and he handed the server his bank card. And the banker said, "Oh, no, we don't accept that." So, we'd eaten this whole meal. We both went to the ATM together. And I guess the restaurateur had no qualms about us leaving and thinking that we wouldn't come back and pay. But it was just a little bit uncomfortable for me. I guess it was uncomfortable for my ex as well, but to have that situation. And I've had another friend who is not from France have a similar experience. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I always need to have some cash at hand. And if I don't, and I'm running late, that can cause my heart to beat a little faster. Now, I don't know if this is just something that is unique to smaller villages here in France, but this has been my experience. The third thing has to do with store hours. And it's not necessarily shorter store hours. I've talked about, that I've started to become used to knowing that if I want something, I have to go between these hours. I know at lunchtime, sometimes stores are closed. I've adjusted to that. It's when stores close unexpectedly. And, I'll check a website. If they have a website and the hours say from this time to this time, I've actually gone and the store was closed. So I know not to trust what the store hours say online. Sometimes, most times for holidays here, stores, supermarkets are closed. But from time to time, there's a holiday here or there where the store is open or it's open for part of the day. And once I needed something on a holiday, and so I said, well, I think it's a holiday. It's probably closed. I'm not going to walk all the way over there. I'm going to call. And I called and the phone rang and rang and rang and rang and rang. And there was no message saying that it's a holiday. There was no message saying that we're closed. There's no message saying that we'll open again at 7:45 or 8:45 a.m. the following day. It was just, you were left to figure it out on your own. So that's another thing. Doesn't necessarily make me anxious, but I'm super aware of that now. And if I'm not sure and I'm going to a store, driving to a store, or even walking, I know that there's a potential that it might not be open, and I have learned to deal with that. So have you had any of these experiences? Have you ever eaten at a restaurant and then went to pay by credit card and weren't able to because they only accepted cash? Comment below. Now, there are two other things that I want to touch on here that, give me pause or put me on edge from time to time. And the next one is, number 4, is going to the doctors. I've had a lifetime of going to the doctors in the United States, and you get a certain degree of comfort, or because you know what to be expected, for the most part, what is going to be said. And if you don't understand, you can really ask that in a way to advocate for yourself. But here in France, I don't have that level of comfort. Yes, my language skills have come a long way, but there's still a degree of nervousness that comes with going to the doctor's office. Now, my general practitioner, I have no problem going to because, he's a friend of mine now. He was my first landlord. So he recognizes that he may need to explain things differently. He recognizes that he may need to slow down, and he takes a lot of time with each of his patients. So that is not a problem. But if I go to a specialist or somebody who is doing a test for me, I don't have that same level of, I won't say courtesy, but I don't think there's that same level of understanding of where I'm coming from and how I may or may not understand, and that there may need to be a check or two in there to help me with that. And so that creates a little bit of anxiety for me because I'm like, oh, I want to make sure I understand, exactly what's going on, what's being said, what my next steps are. And so that can create a little bit of anxiety. And then finally, after 4.5 years, and I think this may be something that will be lifelong for me, that really puts me on edge is when somebody is in line behind me and they're really pretty close. Here, there is not the same degree of personal space given you as in the United States. And it really kind of sets me off. I think this is something that, unless you have grown up someplace where there is more personal space and then moved to someplace where there is much less, that you can understand how bothersome this could be. But this, a couple of times last week, I found myself feeling a little bit anxious, my heartbeat racing a little bit, just because somebody was, really close to me in line. And I know that sounds extreme, but that is something that I still have not gotten adjusted to. So those are 5 things that can cause me to be a little bit nervous still after 4.5 years here in France. Now, I will say other things have gotten much, much easier to navigate just because experience is a good teacher, right? When you do things over and over and over again, you get a certain level of comfort and confidence around them. Like for example, I know what the euro coins are, right? In the beginning, it was like I was a child again, paying for something myself for the first time. And I was looking at the coins and making sure they were the right ones and counting them out. But now it's just like they say the price. I understand what the price is now, right? Because that was another hurdle to overcome. So there are definitely lots of things that are much, much easier for me after 4.5 years. But these 5 ones, I still can find challenging. What have you experienced either traveling to a foreign country or living in a foreign country that was a little bit unsettling to you? Comment below. Now, if you are considering making a move abroad, but aren't really sure where to start, I have created a 14 things to do while you're waiting to move abroad checklist. And I'm going to put a link to that in the description where you can download your own copy. If you are ready to make a move abroad, but there are certain things that give you pause or make you feel a little bit anxious about taking the next steps, then why not have a conversation with me so that you can bounce some ideas off of me and get some clarity on what your next steps should be. I'm going to put a link to my calendar in the description where you can schedule time for a complimentary discovery session with me. Now, if you have found this video interesting, insightful, helpful at all, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you have not yet subscribed, be sure to do so. That is all I have for you today. I will see you again next time. Bye for now.